You're alive. You're alive. You're alive. We can do the live over. Yes. Welcome.
Welcome.
Free slaves, my
Kinda what I'm
ass.
feeling,
My
man.
back still getting whooped, and I ain't got no 40 acres and a mule. Sons of light represent the gospel. Long live the king, Yahoo. Bloodline warrior, lost. True Israel means prince of the power. Victims of sinning from the beginning, fell out of favor with Father. Tossed headlong out the Holy Land by the Lord's own hand. We've been confused with black Egyptians, so he hid in the ham. Next got thrown on the ships. Language was stripped from my lips. Culture got ripped from my hand. Show us who these curses fit. Separate we from the term. Pray you don't fall through the sin. Your soul ain't resting in peace. If you live in wickedness, the Bible tells
Hey, y'all, about
the truth.
Sharonda, you in here first tonight. You get the first thumbs up on time, ready to get it going. Yes. What's up, Cheryl Jones? Glad you're in the building.
Won't warn you about saving your soul. You want them dollars from you. You shaking hands with the devil, but you don't know what you facing. A cult and riding goats and oaths, secret societies and masons. Serving of the Lord, that's my occupation. Becoming with a sword.
Oh, we got it.
It's time to settle scores.
A lot of releasing tonight. A lot of good information. Yeah. Instruction manual. It's going to be a great show.
It's time to settle scores. Put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face. The chosen nation, son of David.
With they prophets, the pastor do it for profit. 10% in his pocket, and God entrusts their wallet. Lost people think that they got it. To follow him is your option. I want the fruit, but the knowledge. Forget the soul, the deposit. Since the beginning, like all of the gold is tried and is polished. Only the king pay your homage. The Lord is pure and is honest. Lately, I'm clean in my closet, looking for the Lord and his promise. Meant to Egypt, yet this bondage. And the flesh get beyond it. They sold for some diamond skirts. Just say that we astonished. Read the world like an infection. Learn that from Lux and his message. Blessings,
learning from his messages.
Tested, don't fall from grace, but transgression. Just use my tongue as your message weapon. Which side you on? Is it the Lord or those that try to clone? Oops, he running out of time. Christ is on his way home. 1 minute you heard the next minute they make, but you're gone. Certain plan with portals to show my people.
Reading all y'all books.
Serving of the Lord, that's my occupation. Becoming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it. Chosen nation, son of David. Serving of the Lord, that's my occupation. Becoming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it. Chosen nation, son of David. Hallelujah, thank God that my God the ruler. Measuring stick, we put you against to show you how you maneuver. Is it gutter or is it super? From the tribe of Judah, bunch of lions trying to come rule us.
What's up, Big Chief Black? Glad you're in the building.
What up?
Improve us and then tune us and
Yes.
Cowards is too shook, not really real, yeah, they fake us.
Want to get a shout out to that Sons of Light tonight. What's up, Trip? Check out that Troop Trap, that Sons of Light. Yeah. Gay Masons.
Wishing to trade places. Shoulda believed and had faith.
Shoulda believed and had faith.
Why you do that? I said Hebrew is the new black. Instead of new jack, that true crack and make it a true trap. Yahoo that. Stay in this word, can't afford to lose that. All we need is him. So enemies.
All we need is him. Enemy move back.
That's my occupation.
Servant of the Lord.
With a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores. Put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it. Chosen nation, son of David. Serving of the Lord. That's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores. Put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it. Chosen nation,
Son of David, yes. Welcome, my friends, our loved ones.
Yeah.
This is the Hebrew state of being, and we are humble servants and your hosts for the night. I am Kyle.
And I am Oba.
And thank you guys for choosing your time to spend with us tonight. Because in our time, we edify the Most High.
Yes.
So we are so thankful that you are taking this time out of your day to give praise and to give acknowledgement to the creator of this universe, the Most High, the Bahashim, you know. Yeah, yes, you know. So as it says, Bahashim Yahweh, Yahweh Shai Barakatah, right? So what we're tonight, man, it's holiday time. Let's just, okay. This is not good times for Hebrews. In this walk, this month, let's say these 2 months, 3 months, October, November, December. The end of October, they kick off with howls, you know, Samhain. The cold air is coming in. The winter frost. We have this Thanksgiving, which is a celebration of killing all of our people indigenous to North America. And we, like Stockholm Syndrome, partake and celebrate in this day of Thanksgiving, which was initiated and always was intended on killing indigenous black people to this land and taking their provisions.
Yeah.
And we celebrate it, and it has evolved into a mesh between the pagan Zeus and the plentiful pot, and along with the winter solstice, as it is the harvest time, right? So they give praise to their god Zeus for the harvest time. That's why you don't find Thanksgiving as a biblical holiday, as a straight pagan holiday in which Zeus was meshed into it. And then you go right into this Xmas thing, right?
Ouch.
You go into this Xmas. So as Hebrews, this is not a time where it feels good. We have the wickedness of Samhain and the spirits coming alive. We have the winter solstice, is the celebration of these pagan high holy days. All right? It's like in the same breath, it's a high holy day for us, but you're not going to hear about that anywhere. You're not going to see the Feast of Dedications on TV being commercialized or even being called on by your local spiritual leaders. You know, pastors, priests, and so forth. You will not hear Feast of Dedication. In the midst of all of this demonic, pagan, winter solstice activity in the air and vibrations and spirits, it's the same as the Feast of Dedications when the Hebrews were surrounded by Rome, the pagan system, laws, government, fully immersed and being oppressed. To the point that they went and rebelled. Because as Hebrews, we want to get along.
Yeah, we do for the most part.
We want to love our neighbor because it is in our laws. It is as the Most High, when his apostles asked him, or the scribes rather asked him after he spoke to his apostles, what were the two greatest commandments? And the first one is love thy God, the Most High, with all your heart and soul. And the second to love your neighbor is the same as you love yourself.
Pretty straightforward.
So loving thy neighbor is something that is innate in us. When we wonder why we keep forgiving people that are close to us that hurt us, forgive me for wiping my nose. This weather is affecting my sinuses because of this hot to cold, along with I fell 16 and a half feet 5 years ago, so it really deals with my nervous system is going all awry. So guys, forgive me. Big Cheapo Dollars, I see you in the building.
Hey.
See, I'm wearing y'all jerseys tonight,
Yeah,
representing you guys. So back to the point of being amidst of all of this demonic and all this oppression and all of this rule that we're under, is the same that the Hebrews were under in 70 AD. When they rebelled because, as I was stating, we always want to get along. We let Rome run and do what Rome does. But Rome wanted to go into our temples. And they wanted us to sacrifice pork on our altars and then erect a statue of Caesar in our temples. This is why we went to war and had the rebellion where we had to rededicate the temple, because remember, the temple was torn down. So in this rebellion, temple's torn down, we win, we're rebuilding the temple. In this time that we're in right now, this is the time that we give homage or pay homage to our ancestors that fought against oppression and was able to rededicate our temple. This feast day is about us. These 8 feast days of the Feast of Dedication is when we cleaned out our temple, when we took that defiled altar and got rid of it. We brought in a brand new altar, brought in our menorahs, our candles, our 7 stand. You'll see many of the Jewish, when you wonder the difference, since the Jews and the Jewish sound very similar, and we like ours, very simple, like Bloods and Crips. They got blue, this one got red, right? We want to be clear on who the enemy is. Well, understand that we, as Hebrews, the ancient Hebrews, had a 7 stand candelabra, which is the menorah. The Jewish have a 9 and sometimes 12 in theirs, excuse me. So our feast and our dedication, 7 days. The reason why it's an additional 8 day, because the oil that we had that should have only lasted for the 7 days lasted an additional day. So as you can kind of say, we kept the dedication going. So this is now our dedication. So from December 2nd to December 10th, if you want to give gifts to your family, if you bought gifts and you're now in this walk and you're feeling some type of way about it, give it in this time. And let them know that it is for the reason of the Feast of Dedications. So if you really have bought these gifts and you got nieces and you got nephews and you got godchildren and you got all these people that you just want to show some monetary love to, because that's what it at the end of the day equates to. You want to show them your love in a monetary representation. Yeah. Then you can go ahead and give that to them during our Feast of Dedication.
And explain the history to them.
Yes. It is an opportunity to edify the Most High. That's why it can be ordained, because it's in order, because you're giving it in the intent of edifying the Most High, which in turn you receive your blessings. Yes, Sharonda, be an art. I was going to say heart, but yes, be a blessing to somebody. Absolutely. So this is what we're reading about. To back up the fact that we're telling you it's the Feast of Dedications, we are reading the book of Maccabees, which gives our story, or our history, not story, but our history of fighting Rome. If you want, and if you're an historian, if you're the type of person that want to find these biblical things, like they say, can't find the grave of Yahweh. You're going to see no grave of Moses. You ain't got no kingdoms. If you need this, that you can go to Josephus, who is the historian for this time. And I can tell you that he's a Jewish historian, but he is a turncoat historian. He is a punk. Let me calm it down. Josephus was known as Joseph Bar Matthias when he was a real Judah. When he faked his death and surrendered to the Romans and told them that he would help them, they made him his pet and made him the negotiator between the real Hebrews and the Romans. So when they talk about who Josephus was as a Jewish historian, he spoke our language. He came from our people, and he sold our people out, and he can become one of the first line of the Pharisees. If you want to look at where the Pharisees and the Sadducees started, Josephus is a great place to find, to look. And that's why he is heralded by the community, the academia community, because he is a turncoat for the Roman Empire, which is our present day Mizraim, Egypt, if you want to make the connection. Tonight we got nothing but strong words for Hebrews so that y'all can get your spirit and you can girt your loins, because that's what the Maccabees did. That's what Judah did in this time. They girded their loins and fought. This was a time of war because we are in captivity, if you don't know it. I suggest you read Amos tonight, chapter 3, for understanding of this holiday and what the Most High thought of this holiday. So, no, Amos chapter 1 through verses 1 through 10. So, in saying that, understanding, girding your loins, that this is a time when we are being attacked. It's not time for us to say, oh, just love everybody and everybody be together, because that energy you will succumb to. You will succumb to this holiday. You will succumb to your loved ones. You will succumb if you are not strong and you don't girt your loins and you don't surround yourself with other Hebrews or with the Word, the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh. This is a time for meditation. This is a time for rest. This is a time to learn about the Most High and how to protect yourself, protect your temple, your spirit, so you don't lose it in these holidays emotionally. I don't mean you're going to go out there and murk a bunch of people. You're going to quit your job. This is a time where you act out emotionally. Spirits are going to come at you. This is an emotional time of year. The national statistics say that this is the highest time for suicide.
They can't cut the mustard.
Because they cannot cut the mustard. When you have all of these emotions and energies and telling you what you should be, like them, and you are falling short of being like them, when the scripture tells you that you are greater than them, and who is them? All. This is not prejudice. This is not a color. This is not a creed thing. If you believe in the Most High, then you understand that you are made in His like image and that you are greater than all these things. Shalom. So, understanding that this is not a time for you to coward to these holidays or to your loved ones, or coward to the inconsistencies of them not even understanding what the holiday is about. When they tell you it's the birth of baby Jesus, there was no J in the time of this birth. And this birth was not during the winter solstice. The birth was during the spring. So it is incorrect to say that the person that you're referring to as Jesus was born in this time to celebrate his birthday at a time when it was anciently celebrated as the winter solstice on the same day. This is facts. These are not hocus pocus and we're like the preacher and the pastor on the church and they're telling you, oh, you just love Jesus and love them people. But no, we're telling you factually that the December 25th is the recognition of the winter solstice. It is a pagan holiday in which they worship pagan deities. And if someone tells you it is the birth of Jesus and that they're giving gifts because the three wise men gave gifts, the three wise men gave him protection, frankincense, myrrh, to protect this. That's the scent of the Most High. It's what is burned in the temples so that the Most High smells and knows that you're praying to him. And it happened in the spring. April, Abib. It did not happen in December. So every reason that they're telling you to celebrate this is inaccurate. It is erroneous. It has no merit in history nor biblically. The only merit it has is in its 50, 100 to 150 year marketing campaign. You can find it in the annals of every marketing company from day one. In every superstore or mall, there's a record of this holiday for them because it's a holiday. It's a Hellenistic day. Do you understand that the Greeks are the ones that are Romans? Grecians, Greeks are pagans. This is facts. Girt your loins. This is the time when we fought and won. This is the time that we celebrate our victory. From December 2nd to December 10th is the Feast of Dedications, where we defeated our enemy and pushed them back to Edomia, all of Judah, and we rededicated our temples and our laws were reenacted. Judah's Maccabee. That's why it's called a Maccabean revolt. And we are reading from the first book of Maccabees, which is in our Holy Scripture. Many of you we hear from throughout the week that deal with family, that deal with how or ask how to deal with it. In Scripture, Yahushua from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are more accurate than King James, which goes back before that. Thomas in the Dead Sea Scrolls is a compilation of sayings that Yahushua left behind. And one of the things he says is that a preacher is not accepted by his family. A doctor does not, his family does not go to see him for help. Your family is going to be the ones that's going to less believe your walk than the stranger on the street. Because your family will continue to bring up your past and your failings. When you read through Scripture, you see that Yahushua left his family. His family came to him afterwards, and his brother James became the father of the church. If you're looking for a pat on the back, if you're looking for acceptance in this walk from anyone but the Most High, then you're missing the point. And you're serving yourself an injustice because you're going to continually find yourself hurt. And it's going to be self-inflicted, unfortunately. This is about girding our loins and being prepared and understanding that this is a long battle. This is not for the weary. And you know, I'm sorry we're not entertaining people tonight. It's not about entertainment. It's about girding your loins. Being the servant of the Most High. And getting edification unto Him. So that you can be the G that you want to be. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Because you're definitely not going to be the G you want to be under Rome. You're definitely not going to be the G you want to be in Africa. Japhet and Ham ain't having that. Japhet and Ham is living in your lands. When you read Jubilees, it tells you who land was for who and who should be inhabiting those lands as ordained by the Most High. Anyway, let's give you guys a recap. But I want you to know, before we go into the recap of chapter 6, gave you that. I want you guys to rewind this or watch this again when you start feeling your spirit getting low. Because strength is in you, strength is in us, and we are giving you that strength through these words. You can stand strong amidst the storm. We got proof that we win. We got proof that we got the victory. We got the algorithm on how to be blessed. We got the game plan. It's all written. We just got to go to the earliest books. We just got to go before the propaganda. We just got to seek Him, as He says. All we got to do is seek Him, and the knowledge will be given to you. So, in chapter 6, right, well, we're going to go to a song, and then we're going to go into our what we call, trying to give a lot of love tonight. We've been rocking this Peasy and Mally for so long. We're about to get into some Fort Tribe Static Addicts tonight, and we're going to get this Sons of Light going again, because I like this. I like it like that. I'm going to lighten up the mood a little bit.
Yeah. Son of Light. All praises
All praises to the Most High. Only begotten Son. The wisdom, the fear of the Lord, the beginning of wisdom.
You trying to go get some program for the Lord, can't adapt to the system. Just watch for the snap and the ones that's against them. Obedience, my brothers, over sacrifice.
Don Bartholomew, my brother, I'm glad you're in the building. Terrence, I'm glad you're in the building, my brother.
Let your addiction be the Lord and have it after Christ. Say parasites, hypocrites, they all alike. That's right here on your head, call it lights. A bargain price, pay with his blood for all his life. A double mind unstable, watch how you think.
A double mind is unstable, watch how you're thinking. That means you can't serve two masters, man. That's a double mind, man. You know? See, in this walk, we ain't got to be Superman. We got to be Clark Kent during the day and then Superman later. Most High said we can be Superman all day. Yeah.
I wanna thank you, y'all, but Lord, I know I've been the problem. Though I know I am not perfect, but I'm working on evolving. See, I started on the bottom, in the midst of the Sodom, had me stuck in corner ways, had me disobey my father.
Let me disobey my father.
The father gave me the mission. Hard on the wicked with no season tickets. Walk the walk, preach the gospel with a reason with it. Lying with the word, give you hidden vision. Yeah, raising caves, ancestors slave. Restless days, I just wanna be the lesser saved. Test the same action when you test the grave. Ain't one saved, we still dwell in these fleshly ways.
Yeah. That's why we speak life. Yeah. Speak life. And life will come right back to you. What's up, rap? Y'all in the building. Yeah. Main ones hate. You heard that, man? Obadiah, man. So glad that you did a friend request, my brother. So happy, man. Oh, praise. We gotta get you on some music, though. Obadiah. What's up, Asphalt King in the building? Yeah. I've been seeing y'all on Facebook, man. Y'all like, truly, y'all are Huxtables, man. I mean, y'all travel everywhere. All praises to the Most High. Yes, yes. So, we are into Maccabees, and my brother King, you gonna love this because it's about war, man. You know, that's how we get down. So, in chapter 6 of the first Maccabees, as you know, recap if anybody's new in the building. First Maccabees is the history of the Jews, us actually rededicating the temple and beating Rome. And in chapter 6, we dealt with Antiochus. And Antiochus was getting beat down by Judah all day. So he sent his son to go and be under Philip and gave his kingdom unto Philip, right? Because he was trying to, you know, bring two kingdoms together so he can have more war. He can have a more power and bring out more mercenaries in order to defeat Judah and Israel, which did not work, right? Because it's just not happening, especially at this time. So it gets to a point that Antiochus is now being approached by turncoat Jews, telling him, look, when are you going to beat these guys and put us on and help us defend our brethren and avenge our brethren's death? So the king hears this after giving up his son to Philip and gave part of his kingdom up. He's infuriated now. He thought he was lost and realizing now that he actually had the upper hand, which wasn't true. We just had them turncoats around us, right? So in this, he goes forward in battle. So at the end of 6, and we'll read the last part of it, says, so the king and the princes were commanded, wherefore he sent unto them to make peace, and they accepted therefore. So the king is like, look, I'm going to go ahead and make peace with this. So he goes in, and then he says, also the king and the princes made an oath unto them, whereupon they went out of the stronghold. Then the king entered into Mount Sion, but when he saw the strength of the place, he brake his oath that he made and gave commandments to pull down the walls round about. So when the king comes into Judah to have this, you know, to go ahead and say we're going to have a treaty because he think he's winning. He think he's got it laid because you had these turncoats coming in acting like we weren't going to be able to defend ourselves. King comes in and sees, nah, it's the other, and that if he actually makes this treaty, he knows he can't win. So in turncoat fashion and in clear Roman fashion, which we also saw in the Western Hemisphere, which is us in Americas, they broke treaty upon treaty. So it's showing back here in the days of Antiochus that they started breaking treaties back in Rome. So now Judah gives them the opportunity for the treaty. They come into our walls. They see how strong we are. He turncoats and goes against his commitment and then leaves and have all of his soldiers attack our walls and pull the walls down and doesn't even stay to fight. The pump bounces. right? Pulls down the walls to say he's not going to do the treaty. Then he says, afterwards departed in all haste and returned unto Antiochia, where he found Philip to be master of the city, which he gave him, right? Because he thought he needed the help. And the master of the city and fought against him and took the city by force. So get these Romans, right?
This is the son too. Antiochus Jr.
Antiochus Jr.
His father died earlier in the chapter.
I thought actually it was, yeah, so Antiochus Jr., the one that learned from Philip. When he gave his son to Philip, he actually was the one. He came back and killed and bit the hand that fed him. Again, Rome. You know what I'm saying? It's like you forgive him from one treachery, but you see that they just did a whole nother treachery.
And the thing is, it's just in the blood. You know, the father in this chapter, Antiochus Sr., he dies feeling remorseful. He's like, wow, I did so many terrible things to these Jews.
Yeah.
I mean, the abominations, I pulled down the altar, I did this, I did that, I killed all these people, I feel so terrible.
Yes.
That's how he ended his life.
Mm-hmm.
His son takes over now and is like, what? Pull down those walls and I'm a punk. I'm not even going to be there to watch it.
Yeah. And runs back to the guy that gave him the strength, taught him, and then took war against him and took his city back. Now we're in 7. Go on, my brother.
1Maccabees chapter 7. In the 150th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome, and came up with a few men unto a city of the sea coast, and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was, that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces. So his host slew them. Now when Demetrius was set upon the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alcimus, who was desirous to be high priest, for their captain.
Let me just say this 1 second, right? Darius, Demetrius, either Trump was Darius or Demetrius. So this is before Darius, where they're now saying Trump is like, because it was the 70 years. And this may be the same one because this was 70 years after 70 AD. But Donald Trump, and because of what he did by bringing the kingdom, the capital back to Tel Aviv, was being compared to Demetrius or Darius. Right.
Verse 6, and they accused the people to the king, saying, Judah and his brethren have slain all thy friends, and driven us out of our own land. Now therefore send some man whom thou trustest, and let him go and see what havoc he hath made among us, and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that aid them. Then the king chose Bashades, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood, and was a great man in the kingdom, and faithful to the king. And him he sent with the wicked Alcimus, whom he had made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. So they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judah and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully.
See that? Kind words. Go on, my brother.
But they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. Then did there assemble with Alcimus and Bashades a company of scribes to require justice. Now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. For said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with his army, and he will do us no wrong. So he spake unto them peaceably, and sware unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends. Whereupon they believed him. Howbeit he took of them 80 men, and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote.
3,000 men.
The flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them.
Okay, y'all get the reoccurring theme with this, man? Judah beats everybody down, and then we trust people. And then they turncoat on us, break a treaty, stab us in the back, appropriate our culture, and then put us in slavery. Then we gotta rustle ourselves again.
Yep.
And you wonder why they say, when people actually read a little bit of the scripture, they say, why is God such a mean person and want everybody to be set apart? Why he don't want you to marry this person? Why can't we just kick it with that person? Why can't...
You haven't read enough?
Yeah, you got to keep on reading to find out why he's saying don't trust them. These people are habitual liars, habitual killers, habitual iniquitous. You know what I'm saying? He's saying set yourself apart. It doesn't matter how much you try. Unless they come to you, don't go to them. He did it with his own family. When his mom and them were looking for him, 13 years old, Yahweh Shai, and they find him. And he says, his mom said, where have you been? Don't do that. He said, woman, I'm in my father's house doing my work. You know where to find us. Doing the work. Go on, my brother.
Verse 18. Wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them, for they have broken the covenant and oath that they made. After this, removed Bashades from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezeth, where he sent and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into the great pit. Then committed he the country to Alcimus, and left with him a power to aid him. So Bashades went to the king. But Alcimus contended for the high priesthood. And unto him resorted all such as troubled the people, who after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel.
So you get this, right? These people want to be high priests.
Yeah, badly.
Badly. But they got so much blood on their hands.
Can I give you an example?
Please.
This is kind of like a side example. This happens all the time. You go to a place where my family's from called Haiti, right? Now, there's this culture that a lot of Europeans call voodoo culture. They've given names to it. They've given everything to it.
Yes, they have.
Not only were they the biggest oppressors on that island's history, right? They come back now and they're like, hey, can I be a voodoo priest? And you're like, huh? Wait a minute.
Do you get that?
I'm just confused right now.
Do you get that, right?
Remember me? Remember our relationship? And they're like, yeah, but I really want to be a voodoo priest. Can I be a voodoo priest?
No.
Can I get initiated?
And they don't care.
Don't even think about the history. Think about the conflict.
I mean, you really think about that.
Trying to repair nothing.
Because what they like to say, everybody like to have amnesia.
For good or for bad. I didn't even bring up some of the best stuff in Haiti. I'm saying, y'all, this ain't even the good stuff in Haiti, y'all. This ain't even the good. So imagine the good. They ain't even gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
They ain't even gonna ask about that. It's just
think about that though.
They want your priesthood. They
the
want
same
everything.
people that condemned you for it, the same people that killed you for it, the same people that absolutely made it seem as though that you were demonic, now comes back and says, can I be that too? Or I have the right, which is better. It's not even that they're asking. They become indignant and say that they have the right. And aren't you being prejudiced? You're being racist by not allowing me to be a voodoo priest.
It happens all the time.
I'm racist because I won't let you do a spiritual ceremony that calls upon my God because your ancestors killed me and I'm being racist.
Yeah, technically, I think.
I mean, if we want to go there, then maybe we should take it to this thing right here. When we have Caucasians wanting to be in Indian suits.
They coming.
You killed all the buffalo. You killed
Stacks
our
of
food
buffalo.
supply.
Stacks of buffalo.
You stopped any type of import and export. You killed us. You poisoned us. Okay? You couldn't even beat us in battle. So you 2/3 of us you killed with smallpox and disease because we was clean people.
Yeah.
Now you come back and we through 300 years of colonialism and oppression, we're spending their own money to sow with blood, sweat, and tears. And you say you got the right to put a suit on, to wear feathers.
After the Dawes Roll happened, that's also a part of the history.
Yeah, after the Dawes Roll. After you took the land as well. You
Stole
paid
the land
$5. After you killed everybody and said, okay, now we're in America.
They must all be
We've
dead.
said we're sorry for killing all your people. Okay, you got a few people left. We're going to give you some land. And then you say, okay, we're going to give you some land, but hold up. I got some cousins over here that need the land. But, oh, I know we said it's only for Indians. Well, how do we? Oh, okay, so my cousin's going to become Indians now. For $5, my cousin becomes an Indian and gets the land that I was going to give to you. I'm going to give it to your people. Now, my people got to watch you in their lands. And you want to wear the suit because you think
That represents the struggle.
that
too.
represents the struggle, right?
The whole struggle is represented in the suit. You want to put on the suit, but not the struggle.
Right. You want to put on the suit, but not the struggle. You want to spend your money to have an Indian sew it, but you won't sew it yourself, you lazy ass. You won't sew it yourself to even find your spirit, but you won't pay somebody else with your filthy lucre. And you want to say that you're giving love to this culture. The hypocrisy is ridiculous. And you shoe-shining Negroes that go along with it, that shuckle and jive, you wonder why we got issues with you. You wonder why we don't want to let you come play the reindeer games, you punk ass.
It's ridiculous, man.
We don't want your holiday. We don't want your Xmas. We don't want your we don't want your Thanksgiving. We don't want none of that.
There's a heritage that comes with that in the history
All of that
and
come with that.
traditions. You think it don't because you don't know, but it does.
But it does. Whether you like it or not. Right? You get a tax return whether you like it or not. Meaning that you're going to pay up first. And if you write enough stuff in there, they might decide to give you something back. Right? This is the record of what happened when the fairy tale that y'all all talk about at dinner table, at dinner parties and intellectual gatherings, and that in the quiet corridors of City Hall and of the Congress, when y'all talk about the mythical day of when the black people come together and be on one accord, well, this is it. This is that day. And this is what they did in that day. And we have an opportunity to celebrate it in this day. It's called the Feast of Dedications.
Yes.
It is not a white man's pink booty Xmas. It is not.
No cookies and milk.
I wish he would come down my chimney.
You getting
Ooh.
popped, bruh.
Come through this chimney,
Over
partner.
and over again.
Please. Please come down my chimney. I'll even leave some cookies and milk out for him. We make some
Tell
gluten-free
your
ones.
children that the Most High is the one that's working with you so that you could get the resources for the family. Don't be giving it to some white dude in a red suit That sounds like the devil.
Any man in the suit. If you got a black Santa Claus, don't put your kids on that black man's suit, on that black man's
that's
leg.
wrong, dog. Like,
We not don't get color in this.
why
Just
take
make
the
sure we ain't
Most
got color.
High's glory and give to some external nonsense made up malarkey?
Malarkey.
Why?
Malarkey. Malarkey. Get the larky out.
You really want to lie to your children and tell them that,
Yeah.
that I gave it to you. Okay?
Yeah, if
Tell
that's the
them
thing
I
you're
gave it to you.
into. If that's the thing you're into, lying to your
At
children.
least they can relate to a human that they know. Instead of telling about some like fictional character, and now they're walking around, and then now if I roll up in a van and say, hey, look, I'm Santa this time of year, your kids are like, ooh, look at that, and walk over. Not mine.
Nuh-uh.
You want to shut that down?
And in the 90s, Ice Cube, poet of the new millennium, named O'Shea Jackson, coined the phrase because he, I guess, observed this similar thing. You know, even though he was in the Muslim faith, like they say, you know, you can get knowledge from a bum. You can get knowledge from anything. So, Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson, had a song that said, if you got to believe in something. So we correlate that to, if you want to lie to your children, you want to give them some false thing to look up to, because you don't think that you're good enough to be looked up to. If you think that you need to give your child a superhero beside yourself, because last I checked, if you paying the bills, if you taking care of that child, if you're feeding that child in the mind, you're the hero of that child.
Yeah, get a poster of yourself.
Get a poster of yourself and put that as a fathead on the wall instead of Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Put a fathead of you at the job so when they come home and in the refrigerator eating, they can see you at the job doing what you do so that they can eat. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
My folks say, let me glorify man and put men on my walls like that.
No.
Who is this guy? How does he grind for you? Please ask him to write a check. Tell him to send you $10.
Yeah, let's start off small.
Just 10.
Yeah,
Nothing? The week went by? Nothing? Oh, okay. I was going to pay for your poster. Sorry, you ain't getting the poster.
Yeah,
but we can't say that to the kids, right? Because we want them to grow up with no spine. Right? In this world where you really need one.
Well, you need a spine. But so many don't have one. But the Ice Cube song. So if you want to believe in something, if you want to give them something to believe in, why not believe in me, is what Cube said. So why not having kids believe in you? You know why you don't have them believe in you? Should I go there?
Ain't worth believing in anything? I didn't mean that personally.
I tell my son he can believe in me because I'm on time like the 1st and the 15th for my son. Most High know I will lose and give my life willingly for my child. My child just has a phone number. It ain't no hocus pocus. It ain't in a book. My child got 7 digits he can call and know somebody coming out there to bat for him hard. You know what I'm saying? That's the only heroes that our children should know about. That's the only people that we should give gifts in honor of. Go on, let's finish this song.
Verse 23. Now when Judah saw all the mischief that Alcimus and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out into all the coasts of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country.
Ever.
On the other side, when Alcimus saw that Judah and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people.
What commandment? Nobody that they bringing in has any kind of love.
No love for Israel. Like everybody has a deep hate. Like,
why, dude? Y'all was winning.
Why?
Y'all were the 5 Seleucid. I mean, the Grecians was Alexander the Great. You got to realize these people was on top at this time. They was on top and still had this hate. Now you wanna know what they had hate for us? I'm just gonna drop this nugget. We're gonna keep on reading. But that the Dark Ages, when the Moors was doing their thing, that's what they really hate.
Yeah.
But do you think that they got mad at the Moors? They went in cahoots with the Moors and they killed us. That's the trick of this. When you really get into the scripture and understand how many times Judah has been crossed by so many people, that's why the story gets confusing. Because one minute you're friends with them, next minute they done broke a treaty with us, and now we fighting them. You're like, well, hold up. In this book, they was
Homies, right?
right, they was homies. It talks about the treachery of our history of people not understanding our love for the Most High and having a hate.
Well, even
For it.
at the end of chapter 6, speaking on the love for the Most High and how they lose it, even Judah's people, one of the fools wanted to like get his name big too, because he's like, man, Judah's got it. He didn't realize that it was because of the love of the Most High.
Simeon.
It's because of the love of the Most High this is happening. You think this is about glory and being great and wonderful?
Judah told Simeon, hold down the stronghold over here.
Bugging.
We're going to take care of this. When
Bugging.
I call you, come in, and boom. They heard about all the exploits of Judah and was like,
They want a name.
Nah, they getting all that. Nah.
I want that glory.
I want that. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I got to get some of that. So out of order, they went to war and they were slain. Most High wasn't with them. Even though Most High was giving Judah, which is all of Maccabees, which is all of Israel, right now, the Most High is giving us carte blanche to kill, slaughter, whatever we need to do to rebuild his temple. He's laying it out.
Because you see what the enemy's feeling like. They show up saying that they hate Israel like nothing else. So that's why they need to do this. Because these folks hate them from every corner of the earth, and they're coming.
So when we don't play our position, we put the throne in jeopardy.
Yes.
So when he sent and went to war, the Most High let them all die. So those bad seeds was not going to interrupt the rest of what's going on here. So go on.
Verse 27. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judah and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men, that I may see you in peace. He came therefore to Judah, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judah by violence.
Yeah.
Which thing after it was known to Judah, to wit, that he came unto him with deceit, he was sore afraid of him, and would see his face no more. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judah beside Kafar Salama, where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David.
Yes.
After this went Nicanor up to Mount Sion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably, and to shew him the burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king.
Yes.
But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully, and spake proudly, and sware in his wrath, saying, unless Judah and his host be now delivered into my hands, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out in a great rage.
You hear this? Dude, it's like
The priest came out in peace, brought the burnt offerings, all the good stuff, and he attacked them and hurt them.
and then said if he ever come back in peace again, he gonna burn it down. Right? Oh my God.
That's so confusing to me.
Yes.
Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, thou, O Lord, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Be avenged of this man and his host, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies, and suffer them not to continue any longer.
Suffer them not to continue any longer. Like, please remember what they just said, Most High.
So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Betharon, where a host out of Syria met him.
Now remember, we keep telling y'all, host means army in this place.
But Judah pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed, thine angel went out and smote 180,500 of them. Even so destroy thou this host before us this day,
Yes.
that the rest may know that he had spoken blasphemously against this thy sanctuary, and
Yes.
judge thou him according to his wickedness.
Judge according to thy wickedness. Even when we are at our enemies, we do it in order. Because in order, there's no such thing as not tearing them down totally. There's no such thing as we don't get the full victory. But it has to be done in order, so you're not watching your back, so you're not looking. And note here, they're talking about the Assyrians. You know why the Assyrians had such disdain for us? Because they had already took the top 10 tribes into captivity. Yeah. The Assyrians had already, and plus the top 10 tribes, had tried to go to Egypt to get the Egyptian prince to go against the Assyrians. But the Egyptian prince told the Assyrian prince. And then they took all 10 tribes into captivity. So now you got this guy coming down here like, I know how to beat Israel. Who's Israel? Go on, my brother.
So the 13th day of the month, Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle.
First slain. First.
Now when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled.
Yes, so.
Then they pursued after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gazara, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. New Orleans.
Wow.
Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about, and closed them in, so that they, turning back upon them that pursued them, were all slain with the sword,
All
and
slain.
not one of them was left.
Not one.
Afterwards they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head and his
Yes.
right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away and hanged them upon toward Jerusalem.
So when Judah get down. Don't get it twisted. And understanding when you go against the Most High, you get your fate. He was the first one, so you don't get confused if he was a part of this or not. Wasn't a hard battle. They prayed, they asked for things to happen in a manner, and it was done in that manner.
For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus, the land of Judah was in rest a little while.
It's the end of 7. At rest finally for a little while. You know how many people we had to kill in order to have some rest?
I mean, devils, you gotta kill a day to get some peace and rest. They up, they active, they want you.
Active.
Especially if you want the Most High, they want you.
Especially if you want the Most High, they want you. And the crazy part about it is they're not going to know why they're upset with you. They're going to point things out, and you're going to look at them, and you're going to say, those are pretty small things for you to be this mad, right? Your spirit is now affecting them. They are now at a discomfort.
Discomforted.
They are discomforted, yes, as it says in the script. Understand that. Don't be confused of why people are having issues with you out of the blue. If you don't see the line or you don't see the reason why, don't create one. Don't allow them to create one for you either. where they come up with some silliness of you left your socks out. Yeah, my socks might be out, but it don't mean that you gotta be screaming at me like this. It don't mean that you gotta add my socks to the fact that 2 months ago the garbage didn't go out. You now adding a whole, you know what I'm saying? You like really, like
laying it all out.
You have to know that that's energy, people. You gotta know that.
Discernment.
And when you got people that don't even say nothing angry to you, and you sitting on your job, and you may be talking about the Most High, you may say you don't get these holidays. You're gonna get people that's gonna come over and be like, "I got some mistletoe," or "I got a little bit of this Christmas cake. You want some Christmas cake?" And they're saying Christmas cake on purpose because they're doing a little sly thing, you know.
You are on the menu, Israel. You've been on the menu.
Yeah.
Been at war. Don't think it's over. Don't think that the little slavery in this land was the beginning. Oh no. Persecution's been going on.
Persecution's been going no matter where we've been.
Yeah, that's why they try to take our books, take our history, take everything so you have nothing so that you'll be able to do nothing. But now that we found everything.
Our connection to our God is so serious. Our connection to our spirituality is so serious that in order to get us off of it, they have to distract us. And the distractions are from killing us, from no education, to the bureaucracies of City Hall, to the holidays, these fake holidays, to these fake religions, to media. All of these things, to media. All these things are at your design so that you don't get closer to this book. If you got people that don't understand how you can be into this book or some man has written, you just ask them, where can you show me why everybody's against us? Don't give me some Harvard study about the likability of a black person and the racial undertones of America is why we can't get along. I mean,
that's just weakness, brother. Like, every book ever known has been written by someone. And that someone's been inspired by some being, some entity, right? So who do you want to say inspired the writings of what you read? That's where it
That's just what it makes
me. Because everybody done read something from the time that you started to now if you're an adult. And if you didn't, okay, you can't talk to me yet. But for those that read, come on.
Yeah,
really? Come on, y'all.